All right, we'll get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us here on Thanksgiving. Well, day before Thanksgiving. So excited to have you here. We're got just a light meeting for folks to enjoy. We're gonna go through a little bit of a recap of what happened during the summit, for those that weren't there. Um, this is gonna be our last meeting of the year, just a nice way for folks to coast off into the holidays, give a quick recap, and then we'll just have quick check-in for those on the call. Want to hear, whether it be in the chat or we've got a survey, just how the coalition has been for you this year. There's been a lot that's gone on, and we want to make sure that at the end of the day, this is still serving everyone that's here. Um, as you know, we got the Zoom chat. Say hi, introduce yourselves, and don't be afraid to say hi to individuals, start conversation. The power of the coalition comes from that community building. So take the time. It's a smaller crowd today, which gives you a great opportunity to actually, you know, be noticed, say hi, get a little more cozy here. So with that, for those, if this happens to be your first meeting, congratulations, welcome. Uh, the coalition operates across six different avenues right now, whether it be helping folks get in the government ready to adopt AI, govern the data behind AI, buy AI systems, make sure that we are building strong relations with our industry partners and making sure that they understand both what we need and that we understand what they're providing to us. Uh, we're finding good use cases and applications, and that we're bringing our community along with us. We've got links to our Google Calendar. We've got, I think, maybe one or two more uh, events, virtual events over the course of this calendar year, but we'll have a lot of things going on next calendar year. Take a look at that on our Google Calendar. I think Layla can drop that in the chat. Awesome. Thank you. Uh, Quick announcement, our November newsletter is out. Just one, some of the recent AI news that we've been seeing in the industry, but also, and something that I'm really excited about, is some of the recaps from our attendees, from folks like, I think Andrew's on the call, that shared their thoughts on the summit itself and also some of the resources that we had at the summit. There's also a photo album, some video recap that we've put together. And I think most importantly for a lot of you, we have notes from almost all of the concurrent sessions that happened during the summit. So whether you weren't able to make the summit and you want to see what folks talked about, or you weren't able to make all the sessions that you wanted to, we have all of those notes available. And I think we're dropping those in the chat. And Layla, did we send that out with the newsletter? The link to the summit stuff?
Yep, it's all in the email that was sent out about 45 minutes ago to folks in the coalition. And that link has photos from the event and also notes from the breakout sessions at the summit. So if you weren't able to make it, you can still kind of see some of the takeaways from the sessions. Or if you were there and you just want to relive it, that's available to you all on our Box Hub.
Exactly. Perfect. So just a quick moment to recap some of the highlights and some of the things that I think are most relevant to our coalition members from the summit. And thank you all again for attending. And if you did not receive the email, please, we'll drop in the chat the if you just give us your email, and also Layla will drop in the chat the registration link for this coalition. I know a couple of people, they might have registered, but they accidentally had a typo in their email. Send that our way. Re-register with your right email, and we'll be able to send that stuff to you. So we had over 700 folks register. We had half of the states in the country represented. And like I said, we had the 21 different concurrent sessions with notes from them. So take a look at that. Um, There were some awesome quotes that I think just really highlight what the summit meant. We've grown to over 3,000 members at this point. A lot of us are enjoying Thanksgiving right now, or a lot of us are off in our own spaces working on whether it be one element of procurement or one element of transparency. But it's that community that is giving us the ability to solve problems together and making sure that AI is used for the public good. One of the things that I'm most excited about is the Enterprise Generative AI Chatbot Solution, RFP, that was released over the last couple of weeks. And we had a conference for a session for it at the summit. This, beyond being what feels like a word salad coming out of my mouth, is a RFP that is intended for, you think about your large language models that are built on internal systems. So whether you're looking at some of the big players in the industry or some of the system implementers, the goal of this RFP is something that San Jose, yes, is running, but we're running it in partnership with the coalition. And we have built out the evaluation metrics and the contract language so that most agencies should be able to piggyback off of this. The goal is that we can do this evaluation once in partnership with some fantastic folks from civil society, academia, and from around government. We do this once, we build the evaluation, and this is something that we can all leverage and use for years to come as we're finding the best solutions for our internal generative AI solutions. Whether you're building your own assistants, building your own workflows, this is it. And if you're a vendor and you're interested in applying to it, the closing date is 12/15, so December 15th. Um, and you can find that on San Jose's Bidingo website. Oh, sorry, my slides are a little slow today. Um, this was another thing that I think really stood out was the ability to learn from each other, right? No one, no one is able to do every use case of AI. But together we can learn from each other on which ones work, right? And that is where I'm excited about the announcement that we released the AI registry beta. So we've talked about this. We talked about this last year, basically a Yelp for responsible AI. It's finally coming to life here, and it's something that all of us can access for free and use thanks to our partnership that we did with Hortus AI in creating this. I want to make very clear this is a beta. This is, we're just testing it out. But I want to give a huge shout out to Tegan and Yar and Ethan for working on this, pushing this over the finish line, getting us to this point where now we have something that people can react to and test and play around with. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is just how you sign up. Any Google account works to sign up. I've used, work, personal, whatever. And then you see this little button when you sign up at the bottom right, says GovAI Coalition. It's our logo. Click on that and enter in the code coalition. You'll get free access to the platform and you can use it, start viewing different services, systems. I know I've looked at it for things like transportation AI systems, and find what works for you. And if you're struggling to find stuff, it's not your fault. It's us trying to figure out how to make sure that this platform works for us. So please, please, please give us feedback. I think there are ways to give feedback directly on the platform. And if not, you can always contact myself, Ethan, Tegan, Yar. And I think, yeah, so again, thank you so much for making that happen. We've got a variety of different templates that have been vetted and tested across some of the things. We have our policy templates, we have our procurement templates, but there were also just another set of templates and tools that we released this year. And this is a huge shout out from our use cases committee, our procurement committee, of course, the monthly newsletter that I'm just going to give a huge shout out to both Layla and Chelsea for just making that happen month after month and all of the contributions that staff have made or that our members have made to make that possible. It's an effort and it looks heckin' nice. So good job, guys. And I think this does showcase that we are starting to see shift. We're starting to see conversations at the highest level of industry about what we're doing. The White House is interested in us, industry is interested in us. There is a conversation happening, and we are now a part of it. As local and state and even federal government agencies, folks that are committed to serving our community, we get to be a part of this conversation now. I think that's incredible. So the last thing that I just want to share here, and apologies, you can scan the QR code there, but also Layla, Chelsea, this is the feedback form for the coalition. This was the same form that we shared with folks during the summit. But if you haven't filled it out, we want to hear from everyone in the coalition where you want things to go next. We have a general idea, but it takes all of us to fill in the details. And so please, please, please fill it out, share your thoughts, what you like, what you don't like. Um, you know, maybe you want me to change from the smooth jazz to more of a EDM or rock and roll. I completely understand. Please put your recommendations. I get it. Um, Take a moment. You're here on the call, fill it out. It takes all of a minute or two, and it means a lot. It helps us a lot as we figure out where to go. And speaking of where to go, I want to pass it off to where the real work is happening in our committees. So, Layla, do you want to walk us through the committee updates?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Albert. I really appreciate those reflections on the summit. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us the day before Thanksgiving. You guys are very committed to the coalition, and we really appreciate that. I just want to quickly give thanks myself as well. For those who joined us at the summit a couple weeks ago, either as an attendee, a speaker, a volunteer, a board member. I just really sincerely thank you all for helping us make the event a huge success for the second year in a row. We covered a lot of important topics in the realm of government and AI, and we're continuing to make an impact in the world. And it was so nice just to see people in person. So thank you all so much for that. Moving to committee updates, I think first up we have community engagement. So, Meg, I'm going to pass it to you to run through that.
Hi, folks. Happy Thanksgiving from the Community Engagement Committee. So, we're pleased to see that the summit in San Jose kickstarted some new community engagement plans for those in attendance. If you were in attendance, please share some of your experiences in the chat. We also co-hosted a climate caucus lunch and agreed to begin working on a new resource for members of the GovAI Coalition to learn more about data centers and environmental impacts. We're working on finalizing our handbook, and thanks everyone for all the input that you've given to our draft so far.
Thanks so much, Meg. The community engagement sessions at the summit were a huge success, and they were actually one of our most popular sessions. So that was awesome. Next, I'll pass it to our Readiness and Adoption Committee. So Rich or Saher, anyone else, feel free to jump in.
Great. Thanks, Layla. It was so great to see a lot of you at the summit, and thanks, Albert, Layla, and the whole team at San Jose for putting on the summit. It was really fascinating, all the conversations we had and the panels that we got to participate in and listen to and learn from. So one of the biggest themes I sort of heard from the summit was that AI readiness is still fundamentally a people challenge, not just a technology challenge. And also that AI training came up in almost every panel session that I sat in. So, these are the topics that are exactly what this committee exists to support around policy adoption, training, and helping our workforces move through change as we implement AI. So just some quick updates here on our groups. For the upskilling group, and it was so great. I just want to say a quick word. The Lan and Rick, the co-leaders of this working group, formalized a lunch meeting with all of the upskilling members at the summit, and it was so great to see all of those people and get to meet them in person. So thanks, and great seeing everybody. But they are continuing, they're finalizing three major playbooks, getting started with AI training, rolling out an education plan, and agents and custom GPTs. These are excellent resources, and they are accompanying these with some visual summaries to make these really lengthy documents easy for any agency to use. And once these playbooks are finalized, we'll be making these available to the larger coalition. They're also working on a certification curriculum and exploring best practices for tracking and measuring training productivity metrics from those that participate in upskilling programs. And this, I think, ties into some of the things we heard at the summit, that everyone's really hungry for training, but they also want clarity on how to measure the impact. And so this upskilling team is really exploring those tools. We're really excited about what they're building there. Jim Brown continues to move the AI and fire service curriculum forward. Jim has recently formed a monthly standing meeting to continue his work, and the coalition is reviewing an agreement with Fire Engineering Magazine to get this content into a free instance of their learning management system. So he's also moving along, as you can see, on working through lesson 4 and 5, and lessons 1 through 3 are already publicly available on the coalition's YouTube. So this is some immediate tools that people can start diving into and for fire professionals in your agencies. So please feel free to push them onto that. On the policing side, Dan Healy and the AI police team are taking a really thoughtful approach. They're creating an AI usage pledge for police departments and a comprehensive AI toolkit for local police departments. This toolkit is framed around 5 strategic pillars, which are training, policy and governance, leadership and procurement, transparency and community engagement, and interagency collaboration. So we heard a lot of conversations focused on trust and transparency and community readiness. And policing is one of these areas where this is getting this right really matters. And he is doing some excellent work there. And last, well, I wanted to check in about the change management piece led by Amnal from City of South Bend, Indiana. There's a lot of urgency around workforce planning and managing the organizational change that AI represents. And the big question this new working group that Anmol is kicking off is exploring is like, how do we make our agencies future ready, not only at the individual level, but also organizationally. So they're going to be looking at how we're redefining roles, developing new skills, how organizational structures and planning needs change, how AI will reshape performance management, and the culture change required to safely and responsibly implement AI. And how do you create a long-term plan to help your agency navigate through that change? So really excited about that work group kicking off and Anmol's work. And finally, Sahir continues to offer really excellent one-to-one adoption support, meeting with agencies that want help implementing the policies and rolling out training and navigating the coalition's resources. Many people mentioned how overwhelming the pace of change feels, and that individualized support is often what helps an agency get unstuck and move forward. So, but thank you so much to the committee members and the working group leaders helping move all these issues forward. And I wanted to take a little bit of time to dive into that. So thanks for the time today.
Thanks so much, Rich. You had a lot to cover. I just really continue to be impressed by the vast array of impressive work that's coming out of this committee. So thank you and the rest of the committee so much. Next up, we'll move to the procurement committee. And I think Emily and Aaron both couldn't make it today, so I'll be giving a quick update for this committee. So Emily and Aaron, the co-chairs of this committee, are currently working through the agenda meeting topics for committee meetings that will commence in 2026. So stay tuned for more information on those at future coalition-wide meetings. Like Albert mentioned, the shareable contract about enterprise generative AI tools has been published. And we had the pre-bid conference at the summit, and we had about 80 attendees in person and online, which was really fantastic to see all that interest in the shareable contract. So if you're a vendor and you're looking to submit a proposal, please do so by December 15th so that we can review your application. And then finally, the committee is working to put together webinars, training modules around how to actually leverage shareable contracts and cooperative procurements. We know that that might be a somewhat new topic for some agencies. And so the committee is looking to do some education on how to really leverage those and get the most out of those kinds of contracts that are out there. So look forward to that. That's it for the procurement committee. So next up, I'm going to pass it to Yar to update us on industry relations.
Thank you, Layla. Good to see everybody again after the summit. I think it was a great event. I had lots of insight and lots of notes. So something we'll discuss in our upcoming committee meeting on December 12th. We have not as many updates as other committees do. Albert already mentioned the new AI registry has been officially launched at the summit. We were excited that most agencies and vendors that attended have signed up to the platform. Those fact sheets that have been published previously should already be on the platform as well. Those that are private, I think that's in process, and we'll be working with the vendors to get those published if they want to. Once again, this is a beta version, so you're still taking in feedback and then incorporating it. There are still some things that Hortus is working on to fix bugs and other things. So we're happy to take some more feedback in, and that's something we'll discuss in our upcoming meeting as well in a committee. Reach out to us if you have any questions regarding it. But if from now on, we'll make a hard switch, and if you need to submit your fact sheet or look at any other fact sheets up, they will now be on Hortus Trellis, the new AI registry platform. Our next committee meeting is on December 12th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We've got many things to discuss, and I'm preparing for that, Tegan as well. That includes the future of the committee. What can we use? What can we do using the AI registry as a leverage to change the industry, make it more transparent, and achieve the goals the GovAI Coalition has, and many other things. So we look forward to seeing you there. Other than that, I wish you happy holidays, and that's it on our end.
Thanks so much, Yar. All right, next up is the Use Cases Committee. So I'll pass it over to either Jamie or the co-chairs to give us an update here.
Layla, I think I'm taking this one.
Or Albert. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, they are enjoying their holidays, as I hope we will soon. Just want to thank everyone for attending our November 18th committee meeting. We shared two lightning presentations from the summit. One was from the MTC here in the Bay Area from Glenn Brown around automating parts of the affordable housing application, which was super awesome to see. And then Neva from Sacramento, City of Sacramento, around a really cool automated bus stop and bike lane enforcement, basically putting a camera on buses, on the actual buses themselves, to then support enforcing parking of cars, making sure that cars are not parking in a way that obstructs the bike lane. They've had incredible success with it so far, with I think a 30% decrease in citations, meaning to say 30% decrease in people that are actually blocking the bike lane. So as a cyclist myself, very excited with the work they're doing there. And we started gathering feedback on the coalition's direction for 2026. If you want to see any of those use cases that we're talking about, or any of the use cases from past use case committee meetings, they're all on our YouTube. Our YouTube has a playlist for our use case committee meetings. Go check them out, and you can learn from there. Let's see. We're continuing to push forward on learnings from some agencies pilots around things like Microsoft Copilot Chat and Copilot, along with permitting and being able to explore the applications of AI, whether it be in screening, building permit, or other, environmental permit applications, or even evaluating them. Our last use case meeting is going to be December 16th. Excited for that. And again, this and all other committee meetings you can find on our coalition calendar, which and we can drop in the chat in a little bit. I'll pass it back to you, Layla.
Awesome. Thanks, Albert. And then last but not least, we have our Data Governance Committee.
All righty. Thanks, Layla. Thanks, Albert. Yeah, year two was a lot of fun. It felt a lot like a family reunion where we all kind of knew each other. That first year was like a eighth grade mixer. All the boys were on one side of the gym, the girls were on the other. We didn't really know each other, but it was nice. Really great to see folks and have some really great conversations during the town hall, in between some of the sessions. But as an update for the Data Governance Committee, we have solved data governance. No, just kidding. We have finalized all of our data governance deliverables that we had set out for our OKRs this past year in 2025. So, yippee, hooray. Really just want to say special thanks to Artie, Sarah, Eleanor, who've really been pushing a lot of this work. And I also want to thank my co-board advisor, Jonathan, City of San Diego, really putting out a lot of great stuff, really helped us bring that strategy across the finish line with their templates. So it's a really big group effort here, and I really, really appreciate everybody who's done a lot of the work here on our committee. Now, as we look forward to 2026, we're starting to think about what's percolating to the top. What are some main topics or themes that we need to really tackle this year? And like I've probably said a couple or a few too many times, data governance is a lifestyle. It's not something that you just start and stop. It's something that just keeps kind of going and flowing. And as policy changes and things adapt and adjust, you too need to adapt and adjust to that environment. So we'll be talking about some of that as our committee leadership. And finally, last update, which may be a hooray or maybe it'll be sad because we don't have any more meetings for 2025. So we get to give you back a little bit more time. We will pick things back up in 2026, hopefully in January. But again, just need to find what schedule works best for everybody and see, those twice a month meetings, if we need to do that or shift to once a month. So we'll discuss all of that and send out a little notice with Layla and Albert so that you all can figure out, data governance still something you want to tackle and work with us on, or is it time to go join another committee? But I'd love to have you in 2026 and join us on this journey with some new OKRs. Pass it back to you, Albert and Layla.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony. I think that brings us to the end of our short meeting before the Thanksgiving holiday. Thank you all again for joining us. Just to sum up some of the main takeaways, check out the shareable contract that's available on San Jose's Bidding Go website. And again, if you'd like to submit a proposal to this RFP, the deadline is December 15th. So we hope to see those proposals come in as we get closer to that date. Again, sign up for the beta version of the AI registry that's available on Hortus AI's website. And make sure that you use the code coalition so that you can create that free account. And please, please, please share your feedback with us. We're looking to improve the UI, the substantive content. Let the industry relations committee know because we really want to make that the best, most usable platform for everyone. Check out the Box Hub where we have photos and notes from the summit. That's a great resource that we'll make sure stays up. And then if you haven't yet completed the survey, please do so as well and share it with your team if they're not here on the call today. That survey is going to be really crucial to making sure that as the coalition moves forward, the direction is really well aligned with what our membership is looking for. So please fill that out. And of course, if you're new, we have an introductory video. That's a great place to start. But with that, just want to thank everyone for yet another very impactful year of making sure that when governments use AI, that it's done so responsibly. And that's truly thanks to all of you who make the coalition and the work that we do possible. So like we said, this is going to be the last coalition-wide meeting of the year. As a whole coalition, we're going to reconvene in January on the 28th. Same time, same day of the week. Some committees might be meeting intermittently in December, but we won't get the whole group back together again until January 2026. So with that, thank you all again. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season. Thank you all.
Take care, everyone.